The main character turned on his television, and there was a cultured advertisement that sells realistic AI robot girls to become your exclusive waifu. In addition, you can customize the specs based on your personal preference. This clankers was a dream for the main character, because it was very expensive. The main character is a professional single, so he was very determined to buy his dream. After 2 years of hard work from his job, the main character have finally acquired the needed amount of money. Then he was wearing his shades and face mask to hide his identity. The main character entered the store, and he put his hard-earned money on the cashier table. Then he ordered the new generation clankers. The product will be discreetly delivered to his apartment, and he wanted it to be delivered as soon as possible. So, the shop delivered it right away after his purchase. Then the delivery man admired the main character for being able to achieve his dream. After that, the main character was very excited. The main character purchased this design, because she looks similar to his next door neighbor he used to hang out. Anyways, the main character started setting the specs of his clanker's personality, and he was programming her to become a kind and gentle lady. The main character was now going to explode from too much excitement. So, he accidentally pulled out the cable while installing her personalities. Then there was an error prompt on his laptop, and the specs he wanted was not installed to his AI robot girl. The female clanker have now awakened, and she considers the main character as her master, and she was introducing herself. However, the main character was somehow disappointed, because her personality was different from what he wanted. Therefore, he wanted to redo the setup, but she told him that it can only be changed again after 1 hour, because the servers might get overloaded with information. 1 hour was too much for the main character to wait, since his legendary sword was already raging for a while now. This female AI robot can understand his feelings of frustration. So, she will help the main character. The specific adjustments for her front door and back door were not completed yet, but she is still capable of performing her role for clanking activities. However, she wanted the main character to use those doors later, and she will let him use her other feature. Then she was now giving the main character a helping hand. The female AI robot was happy, because the main character did not hesitate on having a bonding time with a robot. Then for this female clanker it was a great honor if their masters immediately used them for the cultural purpose. Suddenly, she suggested that the main character should put on this wireless headset. The main character put it on, and she was able to communicate with the main character without moving her mouth. The main character thinks this was a pointless feature. So, she showed him its importance. Then she gave the main character the Gulp Gulp 3000, and she can still properly communicate with him. The main character requested to use the front yard melons, and she was using them to tenderize his free-range meat. Then she also combo her technique with the Gulp Gulp 3000. This is the best experience for the main character, so he created a big bang explosion. After that, the main character told her to stay in position, because he was still an energetic person. Then he was force-feeding her with the premium sausage. The main character felt like a bad person, but this is something she wanted to do with her master. So, the main character did not hesitate in feeding her with a fresh milkshake. The female AI robot wanted more, so the main character continued the feeding program. Then she was turned into an indoor water fountain, and the main character donated liters of his special homemade milkshake. The main character wanted to do the Clank Clank 9000. She wanted him to do it later, but the main character thinks she was ready, because she was already creating a waterfall of WD-40. The main character entered the front door, and she welcomed him with a crystal clear water confetti. Then the main character started the clanking exercises, and the female AI robot was enjoying this relationship with her master. Eventually, she received the main character's donation of creamy vanilla milkshake. Then the laptop screen showed a notification that the registration was complete, because the main character gave the female AI robot his creamy signature. So, this was now her final setup, and he cannot change any more her settings. She told the main character that this was the reason she was telling him to do the clanking activities later. However, it was obvious that she intentionally planned this to happen. Then she wanted the main character to take responsibilities of his errors, and she wanted him to take care of her. In the next scenario, the female AI robot can also do shopping, and she returned with the main character's groceries. She was not able to return quickly, because of a massive crowd of shoppers. So, the main character was using an unholy equipment for his solo player game with himself while she was away. Then the female AI robot considers this act as cheating. She explained that the unholy equipment were the first tools used by lonely men, and because of that, there was an innovation that created them, but still, she will not allow cheating. The main character told her that she was also cheating as well, because his unholy equipment was his first stress reliever, and she was the second. However, The main character told her that she was the best. Then she became happy, but the main character keeps on blabbering about the fun of enjoying the unholy equipment. So, she started to get annoyed, because the main character won't stop yapping. Then she concluded that the main character is the type of guy who will enter anything as long as there was a tunnel. In addition, she was trash-talking the main character that he was a man of culture with zero experience of touching grass. However, the main character accepted those words as compliments. So, she became more irritated, and she decided that she will not move. Then she lied down on the floor. The main character realized a brilliant idea, and he thinks that she was role-playing as an unholy silicone equipment. So, he sees this as an opportunity. Then he gave her a helping hand. She was a stubborn female AI robot, and will still not move. However, that is fine with the main character, because the clanking features were still available. In addition, he knows that her entire system have high sensitivity, so she will make a reaction anyway. The main character unleashed her synthetic melons, and he was handling them with care. Then the main character was feeding frenzy on the GMO melons. The main character started teasing his female AI robot, and he unleashed the big chunk of organic meat to make her start craving. This event was making his cultural instinct run wild, so the main character started the clapping ritual with the melons in her front yard garden. The main character realized that his female AI robot was showing a craving facial expression. Therefore, he decided to start feeding her with an A5 steak, and the main character was using the force feeding method. She was enjoying this kind of treatment, and she was making a crystal clear mineral water lake. Then she wanted the main character to feed her with his fresh milkshake, so the main character donated a massive amount. After that, it was now the clank time. Then the female AI robot experienced the clanking activities. The main character asked her to show him her cultured face, so she let him see her facial expression. Then the main character got more thrilling effect after seeing her face. He wanted a high-level facial expressions from her. Therefore, she rides on the Iron Pegasus, and she wanted the main character to continue on staring at her face. However, she was weakened by the legendary sword, so she took a break. Then the main character take over, and continued the clanking activities. In addition, the main character was using his rod of destruction, because he considers her as his best stress reliever. Finally, he gave her his overflowing creamy milkshake. Then the main character had some milkshake left from his storage facility. So, he feed her with the remaining fresh milkshake to make her healthy, and she was making sure to drink every single drop. In the next scenario, the female AI robot enshrined the unholy equipment, because she was amazed with the unholy equipment, since they don't move, but able to handle the clapping. Then she told the main character that she will not do that again, because she enjoys moving and playing with the main character. Those words have activated the hidden legendary sword. So, the main character wanted her to take care of his big problem. Then she happily accepted the task given to her, and it will be the beginning of the clank era. That's the end of this cultural anime recap. Moral lesson of the story: work hard to achieve your dreams. Anyways, here is your clanky sauce, and make sure that it is limited to the culturally matured people only, and thank you for watching.